going on, my YouTube friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lexi, and welcome to this is the most highly requested topic I get from you guys, a full day of eating. So for those of you who are new here and may not know, I am in contest prep for a bodybuilding show. So before I do a deep dive and take you guys throughout the day and show you everything I eat, show you guys everything I eat. I do want to put a disclaimer out there that I am in contest prep. I am in a push phase, and I do not advise doing this if you are just a general lifestyle client. Now my carbs are still they're still there. I'm not eating zero carbs, zero fat or anything, and I will share my macros. But please just know, disclaimer, do not follow my macros. I mean, if you do, that's on you. And I think most of you guys know that macros are going to be individual per person. But I wanted to do a full full day of eating. Words, they're hard. And just show you guys what I eat with lower carbs. So earlier this week, my coach Paul, he dropped carbs by a pretty significant amount, actually by 40 grams. So my macros, and again, disclaimer, I'm sharing these, please do not follow these. These are specific for me, and I am in a push phase of contest prep. So my macros are currently 135 protein, 120 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fat. So we went from 160 carb to 120, so pretty big difference. So definitely, kind of feeling it. I find that anytime my food gets adjusted the first couple of days when it gets adjusted lower like that, the first few days are always a little harder. But I have some days where I'm really high energy, some days where I'm a zombie. What's new? Prep is lots of highs, lots of lows, but I do this because I love it. So what I'm going to show you guys is how I kind of structure my day, what I eat. So today is actually a rest day. So it is a little bit later. It's 10:30-ish. Waited a little bit to have my first meal. So what I'm going to have for my first meal is pretty similar to things you guys have seen me talk about before. Now, this is what I would consider my fun meal. So I am having a protein shake. So this is my decaf coffee cold brew protein concoction. So what this entails is I always use instant decaf, so put a little bit of this in here, mix it with water, I add some almond milk, and then for the fun part, I add some chocolate greens from PEScience, and I do log these into my food log. They're not really, there's not much to it. I think it's 2 carbs or something like that. So I add a scoop of chocolate greens, and then I add a scoop of plant-based vegan chocolate protein from PEScience. Love this brand, best vegan protein you will ever try. So that is what I have going on in here. Kind of kills my sweet tooth, or kind of kills my sweet tooth cravings. So I really enjoy this drink. It's the protein shake and coffee all in one. So got that. And then of course, my favorite, white cheddar rice cakes. So this is the Publix brand of white cheddar rice cakes. Not as great as the Quaker brand, I'll be very honest, but you know what? Publix doesn't sell Quaker white cheddar rice cakes, but they did have this. So I'm gonna have 3 of these and my protein coffee shake. Like I said, this is probably my fun meal of the day. On a normal day though, when I do have cardio, when I am training, so every other day of the week, I do typically consume this meal after I do my cardio in the morning. So that's what we've got going, and yeah, I will show you guys kind of what I have a little bit later on. I break my day into, I have about 4 meals. They're smaller. This would be meal 1. So I'll show you guys what the rest of the day entails. Again, disclaimer, please do not follow my macros. Please do not follow my full day of eating. I'm just showing you this because I get a lot of requests for people to see how what I eat throughout the day. And I think it intrigues a lot of people that I'm in bikini prep, contest prep, just kind of seeing what I eat. So another thing to mention is that my coach doesn't give me a meal plan. He gives me macros. And so basically though, what I do is I create a meal plan for myself. So I pretty much eat the same thing. What I'm showing you guys that I'm eating today, I have eaten all week, and then I just change it up very minutely throughout every week, if that makes sense. I'll talk a little bit later though in this video about micronutrients, because that is something I've been paying attention to. As your food gets lower, generally you're gonna find, and this is just standard for most people, that your micronutrients, potassium, fiber, things like that, they stoop a little bit lower. So you do have to make sure that you are still keeping those within range. So I'll show you guys some things I implemented in my day to make sure that my potassium and my fiber are within check. So thank you for tuning in to another video, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. So meal number 2, it is about, let's see, 1:30, and I'm having this delicious meal. I'm like trying to show you guys without like dumping it on the camera or having it fall out. But essentially I have 6 ounces of grilled chicken breast. I have about a half of an avocado, and I have some carrot coins. I just get the frozen bags from Walmart or like wherever, just because frozen veggies are so convenient because they don't really go bad. And they're just easy. They're easy to assemble. And then of course I'm gonna add a little bit of mustard on top because your girl loves her condiments, her seasonings. So easy to make a meal, kind of like drab to fab. And then, oh, I forgot, I just reminded myself to add my 2 Brazil nuts to this meal. So I'm gonna add my 2 Brazil nuts, and that is, for those of you who are new here, I have 2 Brazil nuts a day because you may be like, why 2? That's kind of specific, but 2 Brazil nuts contain the RDA recommended of selenium, and selenium is really important for thyroid health. And so given that the thyroid is something I've struggled with in the past, I always do my Brazil nuts. So I'm gonna add it to this meal. I'll show you guys a little close-up of what this looks like after I stop recording this clip, because again, I don't want to like dump it onto the camera. But one thing too to note about this meal, so I did mention earlier in this video I was going to talk a little bit about micronutrients. So this meal in particular, actually all 3 of these things, avocado, carrots, and chicken, have a good amount of potassium in them. So the other day I mentioned, or I noticed in my Fitness Pal, because that's what I use to log my food, that I was a little low on potassium. So I was like doing some research. I'm like, all right, what can I incorporate to get my potassium up, right? Because if your potassium is low and your sodium is, high or it's normal, that can sometimes cause a little bit of inflammation. It can cause you to feel watery. Like, you want to make sure that those levels are good. So I noticed, well, first off, I already knew this, but half of an avocado has more potassium than a banana. So fun fact for you. So avocado is pretty rich in potassium. Same with carrots. And then also chicken has a decent amount of potassium in it too. So very potassium rich meal. I just had to kind of not introduce new things, but incorporate a couple of things into my diet that I wasn't already consuming to get my potassium up, which was pretty easy. So that is meal number 2. Okay guys, so since this is a full day of eating, not that this is really something like you eat, but wanted to show you guys, I did get a decaf Americano from Starbucks. So I don't get these every day. So this is not like a rare thing, or it's not a common thing. So my go-to order is a grande, well, not always grande, but an Americano decaf. I love decaf, and the reason being is because it's like 3:30, and I can have a decaf. Like, I don't have to worry about staying up all night. If this was regular coffee, that'd be another story. But I always get a decaf Americano, 1 pump of sugar-free vanilla, and I ask for just a splash of almond milk. So typically how I track this is, it's usually, so any sugar-free syrup from Starbucks, which all they have is sugar-free vanilla, is 0 calories. So you don't have to worry about that. I usually track about 1/4 a cup of almond milk, and then the decaf Americano is typically like 2 to 3 grams carbs. So it's not much at all. It's like, if anything, it's like 3 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fat. That's it, between the almond milk and the coffee. So I had this, and this is like a little bit of a treat. Sometimes in prep, when you're in between meals and you're, kind of hungry, or you just like want something, having something like this can kind of help to kill that void. So now I need to head to the grocery store because I need to do my weekly trip and stock up on everything. Like I mentioned, I create a meal plan for myself based off of my macros. So I know what I'm going to need for the next week. So it makes it easy. So I'm just going to go and stock up now. And then when I return home, I will show you guys what my 3 out of 4 meals is. So my 3rd meal of the day. Quick little snippet of my little Walmart haul. Got some avocados. Love the Great Value tuna. Honestly, I don't know what it is about the Great Value brand tuna, but it's really good. I've been having a pack a day. Sparkling waters, eggs, egg whites, frozen carrots, frozen peas, some mustard, chicken, and I did get a little bit of water flavoring. So that's my little Walmart haul. Okay, so just got back from Walmart. I'm gonna show you guys, or not share a little hack with you. So I've got my avocados, and I specifically got one that was ripe and one that wasn't. But little fun fact is, if you get an avocado and it's ripe, so it's like kind of squishy, kind of soft, and it's like more brownish in color, but you're not ready to use it yet, what you can do is put it in the fridge. Don't cut it open, put it in the fridge. And essentially when you put an avocado in the fridge, it'll kind of just like quote unquote freeze it from ripening anymore. So if you have a perfect avocado, it is ready to use, but you're not ready to use it yet, put it in the fridge, and then when you're ready to use it, just take it out and it'll be perfect. So yeah, that's a little hack for you if you like avocados, because they're tricky. They're tricky because it's like, once they're ripe, you know, you have to use them. So if you're not ready to use them, stick them in the fridge and it kind of prolongs their life. So just got back from the store and I just made meal number 3. It didn't really require me to make much. So this is meal number 3. It's about 5 p.m. I am just having this little like snack plate. Again, I don't want to like dump it on you guys, so I'll show you guys a little bit more in depth. Like I'll show you a close-up of it, or I'll show you a clip close-up of it after this. But I'm having some Granny Smith apple slices. I'm having another white cheddar rice cake because rice cakes keep me sane in prep. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like the crunch kind of makes me like think I'm having chips. Not that I'm a huge chip person, but rice cakes have just always kept me sane in prep. Love them. And then I'm having a ranch flavored packet of tuna. So I told you guys a second ago when I was in Walmart, I don't know what it is, but the Great Value tuna is so good. Like I love the ranch flavor, and the tomato basil is also really good. So the macros for this are 3.5 fat, 2 carb, and 16 protein. So I am just having this. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, this is meal number 3 out of 4, so I'm gonna eat this. Oh, and I did want to mention, so like with my food being the lowest that it's been this prep so far, and honestly, when I did my last prep, my food, I think this is the lowest it ended up getting. So, you know, sometimes when you have less food, it can be kind of like, you're just, you know, your meals are a little bit sadder, they're not as big. So one of my little tips, and this can go for anybody, is to slow down when you eat. Like one thing I tried to do is like, I'm gonna take this, and I mean, it's not, there's not that much food there, it's not gonna take me forever to eat. However, if I really sit down and I'm present with the food and I slow down, I'm a lot more likely to just be satisfied afterwards, if it, you know, as opposed to if I just were to engulf it in like 2 minutes, right? So I know this sounds silly, but sometimes I even tell my clients to set a timer on their phone, set a timer. That way, you know, you can force yourself to slow down when eating, because I find that more oftentimes than not, when we just engulf our food in like 2 minutes, you finish it and you're like, boom, you want more, you're not satisfied because it was gone so quickly. So I really try, especially like right now when my food is a little bit lower, like absolutely I would love more food, but again, I'm in prep, this is extreme, this is something I'm choosing to do, I'm not complaining, but one thing that kind of helps is if I slow down and eat my food, I feel a little bit more satisfied afterwards. So meal number 3 going down the hatch, and then I'm going to go out for a little evening stroll, kind of a post-digestion walk. I like to do that if I can. I can't remember if I mentioned, I think I did at the beginning of this video, it is a rest day for me. It's a Saturday. So I do not, Saturdays are the only days I don't work or do client check-ins, so it's kind of been like a nice day to just chill, hence why I'm filming this video, because full days of eating can be kind of time consuming and like remembering to film every time you make a meal. So yeah, so I'm gonna make this, or not make this, eat this, and then go on a little walk to let things digest. Okay friends, so I just got back from my walk and I'm gonna show you guys, so it's about 7:30, a little after 7:30 p.m. I'm gonna show you guys my secret ingredient to sleep. So for those of you watching, if you have ever competed before and you are a competitor, you know that kind of one of the things that happens is like, as you get leaner, you tend to not get as good of sleep. A lot of times too, it has a lot to do with like when your food gets lower, you may be hungry in the middle of the night, it can disrupt sleep, all that, right? And sleep is just so important for so many reasons. It helps with recovery, and then I also find that in prep, when I don't sleep a lot, I'm hungrier. And that's a real thing. The less you sleep, usually the more sleep deprived you are, the more ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone the body produces. So that's why we like sleep. But I'm gonna show you guys my little secret ingredients for helping me to have the best sleep ever. So these are 2 things from Pure Nutrition, and I cannot recommend them enough. If you are watching this and you are on prep, like, I know they're a little pricey, but honestly, so worth it, right? Like I think we can all attest that like sometimes having good sleep is worth splurging a little on supplements. So if there's one supplement you buy, I don't even know if I would say it's a supplement, but it would be these Serenity gummies. So they are, like first off, they're actually really good. They're kind of delicious. They look like these little like gummies, you can kind of see, but 2 is a serving. They do have a few grams of carbs, so I do track it. They have 4 grams of carbs, but worth it to me. These are so amazing. I take them about an hour and a half or so before bed, and then what I find is when I lay down to go to bed, I end up feeling a little drowsy, and it's perfect. I don't feel restless when I lay down. It's like perfect. And then if you want to be a little extra, you can also take their other sleep supplement called Zen. Now this is a capsule. I'm not sure if you can see it with the lighting, but I take these two together and oh my Jesus, like seriously, amazing sleep. And you guys, I hope you know by this point, I am not somebody who ever like, I don't just push supplements because I'm affiliated with brands. I've used Cured Nutrition for a while now, but honestly, I can attest to the fact that I ran out of these earlier this week, and I had a night where I just didn't take anything, and I feel like my sleep was not good at all. Like I was super restless. I was like woke up super early, way before my alarm, and then the next night I had them and my sleep has been back to normal. So just a little tidbit, I highly recommend these supplements if you are in prep and you are suffering with sleep. Do it. I got a discount code, I will put it down below. But I'm getting ready to make final number meal 4 of the day, so I'm going to show you guys what I am making and then wrap up the video there. Okay, so I'm a little tired, as you can tell. So I just showed you guys meal number, what was it? Meal number 4. Oh my gosh, my lighting is like so glowy. Let me fix this because otherwise it's kind of distracting. One sec. Okay, I just had to dim my ring light. So meal number 4. I don't even know what I said before. I apologize. This is meal number 4. So I'm gonna overlay it right above. I'm having meal number 4, which is going to be sliced zucchini. I have beets, and I have 1 whole egg, and I have egg whites. The beets, you're probably like, that's really random, because I feel like you don't hear about a lot of people that are eating beets, but I love them. But going back to what I said previously in this video, I noticed I was low in potassium, so I got these macros I got them on Wednesday, and I started them on Wednesday, and I noticed for the first few days on them, because these are the lowest macros I've been on in this prep so far, I noticed my potassium was low, so that's why I Googled, and I was like, oh, what foods are highest in potassium? Beets were one of them. So I love beets. I got them at the store, and that's why they're in this meal. I also love zucchini. Zucchini is pretty high in volume, and I like it because it's just a very easy to digest vegetable. I personally stay away from broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts, and I may introduce them back at some point in a small quantity, but they don't settle well with my stomach. And you know, that's something I want to point out too is as you guys saw in this video, I track macros. I don't get a meal plan from my coach. He doesn't send me a just, bland meal plan. He gives me macros. He gives me my protein, my carb, and my fat goal for the week. And I get to choose the foods I eat. Now, I think that there's sometimes this stereotype amongst bodybuilders that track macros. Like some people just don't think it can work and they don't take us seriously, or they think we eat junk. But as you can see, like I was not eating junk today. And if anything, I love being forced to track macros and being forced to come up with my own food I'm gonna eat, because it teaches me so much. If I were to just be handed a meal plan, yeah, it would be nice because I, wouldn't have to think about anything, but really, what is it teaching you? It would be teaching me absolutely nothing. Again, I wouldn't, learn what foods have potassium in it. I wouldn't learn what foods, have certain vitamins in them. I wouldn't learn anything about food, and I also wouldn't learn how different foods impact my digestion. And I think that those are just very valuable skills. So honestly though, it is a lifesaver. So when I do get my macros from my coach, I create my own meal plan. So everything you saw today, that is what I'll repeat for the whole week, and then I'll change it up minutely every week. So I get to create my own meal plan based off of my macros. My coach doesn't tell me I have to do that. However, I think that it is smart to do so as a competitor, and just limiting variability day to day, so that way you're limiting the chance of waking up and feeling bloated from a certain food, right? But I also find that it is just such a lifesaver. I don't want to have to spend time planning my food every day. I just don't. And so it also makes going to the grocery store so easy. You guys saw, I went to Walmart earlier. Such an easy trip. I just made a list in my phone, and didn't have to get a ton because I'm eating, the same thing every day. It's not like I have, eating something different every day, but what I like to do is I like to do that every week. I create my own meal plan based off of my macros, and then I don't have to think about it every day, right? And sometimes I think that the more you have to think about planning your food, the less fun it gets. And sometimes in prep, it makes you think about food even more, right? Which is not always what you want, right? So I just like to create my meal plan, and then I only have to log one day, and then I copy and paste it for the whole week. So that is that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to explain and kind of educate too on some of my meals to show you guys why I'm eating them, you know, the different micronutrients that I'm paying attention to, and I'm really just trying to have a nice, wholesome, balanced diet the best I can. So that is my full day of eating. If you guys enjoyed this day, please let me know. Give it a thumbs up, and I'd be happy to do more videos like this in the future because my food will change slightly before the end of prep, and I have a feeling my show will be sooner rather than later, but stay tuned for that. I don't have a show date picked out yet. I'm kind of just allowing my body to like honestly get stage lean and then see what shows pop up around, or what shows, you know, are around that time frame, and kind of go from there. But I have a feeling there will be a lot of prep content coming soon. You know, I can do other full days of eating. Anything you guys want to see, you let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope wherever you guys are at in the world that you have a beautiful, amazing, awesome rest of your day.